Time to address the MF Corner, and today we're discussing the global gloom which has sent indices around the world spiraling downwards. Dhirendra Kumar, CEO at Value Research, is here to discuss how international index funds have fared in these troubled times. Dhirendra, there are two funds based on international indices. That's Motilal Oswal Nasdaq 100 ETF and Goldman Sachs Hang Seng BEs, which have both, outdone their underlying indices by a huge margin. Why is that so? And does it build a case for these international index funds?
The primary reason why most international funds, including these two index funds, global index funds or different geography index funds, they have done well is primarily the rupee depreciation that we have seen. So, assuming everything was equal, they are up, they have been able to deliver 20% more return over the past 8 months. So from that standpoint, I don't think that is a surprise. The real thing to look for is, the case for an international fund is primarily to diversify. And some of these funds are meaningful diversification. Some of these funds are not. In fact, they might add greater risk or so from that standpoint, I think one has to be a little choosy about it. Some of these indices might look like a little more, exotic, or at some point they are doing exceedingly well, and investors tend to chase that recent past good performance. But that is something avoidable. Go for diversification. That is the goal, and don't bank on this rupee depreciation, because this can reverse. This is something which you have to feel happy as and when it comes by, but you have to be ready for the other side of it.
Dhirendra, our first query is from Kapil Malhotra in Mumbai. He wants to know, how would DTC impact the ELSS funds? Is it advisable to invest in the ELSS considering that it's got a lock-in of 3 years?
Yes, ELSS, once the DTC comes into play, ELSS will not exist. ELSS funds will exist because the 3-year lock-in will prevail, and I visualize that those ELSS funds will, over a period of time, at least after 3 years, they will become plain vanilla equity funds. But till that time, his concern is real, and I think there is some validity in that concern, that once these ELSS, once DTC comes into play, no new money can come into these funds, which means only investors can get out of those funds. Shrinking of asset base, will it have a negative impact? I think it will have marginally, but I'm not very apprehensive about poor performance, because the money into these funds has been built over a long period of time, and I don't visualize the expiry of lock-in will translate into exodus from these funds at one shot.
Dhirendra, second query today is from Ravi, an investor in Bangalore, and he's 31 years old and will retire at the age of 60. He says he can invest about almost 8,000 rupees per month with the 10% increase every year, and he would like to have around 2.5 crore rupees by the time he retires. And he says, please suggest a slew of funds for him.
I would say, given his time frame and given his investment and the way he has logically put it, that his income will rise and he will be able to enhance his saving scale, I don't think he has much to worry. Even a bank deposit or a recurring deposit will achieve that, but I think he should, for his foresight, he should be rewarded more. And I think to begin with, for the first 2-3 years, he should start with a balanced fund, then take little more aggressive posturing with larger allocation to equity. And I don't think he has much to worry given his goals and his ability to save today.